Hi, I'm Jared.
And I'm Brad.
And this week on Hood Slappers, we're going to be reviewing the 2023 Volkswagen ID.4.
Don't forget to hit like and subscribe.
Believe it or not, it's been 2 years since Volkswagen took its first step inside the EV SUV octagon with the release of the ID.4. It was a decent vehicle, but came out at what can be argued as the worst possible time, losing some of its momentum from the beginning. Now, 2 years later, Volkswagen made a few changes to their EV ambassador, and we want to know if they made it better.
Hey Jared, a package came in the mail with a letter attached to it.
Huh. Dear Brad and Jerry,
Must be you.
we feel since you've started reviewing EV vehicles, nobody's been able to take either of you seriously. Between the two of you, it's very difficult to imagine even one of you as an expert in the EV world. So, I've sent along a few items for one of you to wear in order to at least look like you know what you're talking about when reviewing EVs. Sincerely, Elon Musk.
Wait, really?
Huh? Oh, sorry, Elon Musk.
Elon Musk, okay. Well, let's see what's inside, hey?
Yeah, what do you... Orange vest, there you go, Brad.
Oh, I'll look
Good
great.
on you.
I'll look great.
Wow.
Ooh, I've always wanted a handbag like this. Yeah, for sure.
Cherry on top. Look at
Oh,
that.
man.
Wow.
Hey, nothing looks more sophisticated than something like this. All right.
Just until now. You're very
Really keeps your drinks hot or cold. I have been talking about that.
What's that?
Oh, it's a vape pen. Oh, yeah.
You vape much?
Oh, all the time. All the time. Anyway, I think I look pretty good. Ready to go here.
What's this envelope?
Oh.
Things an EV driver might say.
Oh, well, let's try one.
I'm better than you.
Is that all it says?
Oh, it must be. Oh, let's try another one here.
Okay.
Excuse me, is that locally sourced? Well, that's an excellent question.
The ID.4 is no longer made in Germany and joins a very short list of car producers who are manufacturing EVs in North America. The ID.4 in particular is made in Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Wow, you know, that outfit does make you look like you know what you're talking about.
Well, thank you, Jared. And you see, with the ID.4 being made in North America, it means they were able to save on costs and add more options for their customers.
For the last 2 years, the ID.4 lineup was very basic. You can get an all-wheel drive or rear-wheel drive model, and the only option you can add was the statement package that offered things like a larger screen, leatherette seats, moonroof, and much more. The problem was there was a lot in that statement package, and if you wanted any one of the items in there, you had to pay the electrifying and shocking price of $8,000. But now that the ID.4 is locally sourced, Volkswagen's gone to a more a la carte approach. Think of it like a sandwich. First you have your car, or in our case, your bread. Then, of course, you want to add that moonroof. Of course, you don't want to forget that 20-inch alloy wheel package. Looks good, doesn't it? But let's not forget a slice of the heat pump. Put it on there. And of course, the silver roof rails with the black roof. Now, if you're anything like me, you'll also want to add the new and improved statement package for only $5,000. And this is going to give you things like massaging leatherette seats, a power tailgate, the pass-through in the back seat, and of course, a 360-degree camera. Now, for the full list of statement package features and options, you can check out the description below. Now, if you don't mind.
Hey, can I get a bite of that? Good. What? Is this tomato hormone-free?
I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure the mayo's expired. Not only are the packages better, but Volkswagen also gives you two different battery options. You have a 62 kilowatt and an 82 kilowatt, as well as an all-wheel drive and a rear-wheel drive. And depending on the vehicle you want to go with will determine how many kilometers you will get. For example, rear-wheel drive 62 kilowatt battery will give you 336 kilometers. The rear-wheel drive 82 kilowatt battery will give you 443. And finally, the 82 kilowatt all-wheel drive will give you 410 kilometers. This is much better than the original 400 kilometers the ID.4 used to give you.
There are also a bit of difference when it comes to horsepower. The rear-wheel drive models will give you 201 horsepower, whereas the all-wheel drive will give you $295.
Now, we had the chance to review the 2021 ID.4 when it first came out, and you can see that review here. And so far, I can honestly say I really like what I see on the 23. What are you doing?
I'm an EV guy now, Jared.
So?
Well, it's 420, so I'm praying to Elon Musk facing west to California.
Oh, come on, that's not even a thing.
It's a thing.
No, it's not a
I
thing.
didn't realize it was 420. Can I share yours?
Of course, come on, join me.
Oh, come on! Now let's talk about ID.4 maintenance, because EV vehicles are building this reputation of having a low cost of maintenance. But exactly how low? Brad, does your envelope say anything about EV maintenance we could share?
I roast my own Java beans. Not exactly, but here's the reality. The ID.4 is impressive in terms of how it stacks up against gasoline-powered vehicles, but even more impressive in how it stacks up against other EV models.
That's right. Now the 23 is still relatively new, but if we look at the 22, Volkswagen states that your first maintenance will be only $25. And that's going to be for a tire check, a vehicle check, and they're going to reset your maintenance light. That's cheaper than the Tesla Y, the Kia Soul EV, and the Ford Mach-E.
In terms of long-term results, after 5 years, the ID.4 will save you $600 in maintenance over the Tiguan. Now, the ID.4 has impressive stats, but let's take a look at the inside as well. By using Volkswagen's MEB platform, it allows the battery to be placed very low in between the ID.4 axles. This not only offers a balanced vehicle, but it also creates an abnormal amount of space for its passengers, allowing a great amount of comfort in both the front and the rear. Now, there's nothing outstanding about the back seats. It's all pretty standard stuff back here. But what I do love is that they did add something in the front that is now standard, a 12-inch screen.
The ID.4 doesn't overwhelm you with screens, but rather it gives you an intuitive 12-inch screen in the front, as well as a 5.3-inch gauge cluster screen to help keep your eyes forward. To me, that's all you need. The ID.4 also lets you keep your focus on driving by allowing you to ask the car if there's anything you need. For example, hello ID, can you change my temperature to 23 degrees? And the nice thing about this, you can stay focused on the road as opposed to playing with the screen. And that brings us to the screen. You've probably read a lot of things about the original ID.4, that the screen had glitches and it was slow and had its fair share of issues. Well, the good news is Volkswagen is currently working on a new software update that will address all those issues. And I think it's important to keep that in mind when buying a car, any brand, whether it's EV or gas powered, that whenever there's a problem with your screen, there's always going to be a software update around the corner. And the nice thing with Volkswagen is it can all be done through your screen.
Now, I know we already drove the 2021, Jared, but I think we need to give this one a drive as well, because I'm doing my part to save the environment.
Just get in. Well, Brad, here we are in the 2023 ID.4, and as we mentioned earlier, we had driven the 21, a lot of similarities, but first impressions of the 23 interior, what do you think?
Well, I'm quite impressed because I think the orange with the gray hat actually really goes well.
Brad, I'm talking about first impressions of the car.
Oh, the car.
Yes,
car, right,
yeah.
right, yes. Well, I would say this is definitely an upgrade over the 2021. I like what they've done with the screen here.
Yeah, standard.
It's still a very clean look, and they've got these delightful little things like, wireless charging with a little,
little
holder,
Yeah,
like
it's a
almost like a
holster.
holster. That's right.
Absolutely.
So it's where it is. It's not going anywhere. Anyway, I think it's a very nice vehicle.
I agree, and again, it's those little small things they change. For example, no more of those armrests, those locking armrests.
Right.
Now I have this entire thing that I can take up on my
see,
own,
now-
which
see, you
I
know
like
what?
as
Yeah,
well.
That's kind of annoying.
I do like that. No, I like this
Yes.
armrest here. I think it's
Yeah.
good. And the other thing too, viewers, the seats. So this is not the statement package. This is not the leather seats, but the look of these are really cool looking seats with the gray and the black. Of course, you do have other options. You can go a full gray interior, including the steering wheel, but I like this interior package myself.
Now, if I were to give a note to them, given how good I look in the gray and the orange, Volkswagen might want to consider some orange accents in here.
Well, folks,
right?
you heard it here. Okay,
All right.
fresh off the press. If
Fresh off the
Volkswagen
press.
does that,
If the
you-
2023 has orange in it,
or the 24, or any time after that.
That's on
You can
me.
thank Brad.
All right. Now, Jared, we've been doing a lot of these reviews. Now, we're getting quite experienced in the EV world, I
Well,
would
look
say.
at you. Of
I
course
know,
you
look
are.
at this.
You've
I
come a
know.
long
I've
way.
come a long way. And, we've talked a lot about starting prices. Generally, you're looking 45, 50 just to get started. But with the battery pack options here,
Yes.
the ID.4 suddenly is becoming even more accessible.
It
How
is
much?
very accessible, very competitive, even in the petrol market. So this starts, if you go with the entry level, just over 42,000. It's 42.2, and if you want to go all the way to get the 82 kilowatt all-wheel drive, that's more at 51.2. Okay. So you have that. That's not including any of the packages. So that's bare bones car. To give you an idea how competitive that is, the Tiguan Comfort Line with the moonroof, a $1,500 option, is $200 less than that entry level of this car.
Oh.
Very interesting. So when you add on the federal rebate, at least here in Ontario and Canada, it's $5,000. That's going to flirt with a baseline Trendline Tiguan. So very competitive in the EV market. Definitely one of the price leaders.
How long does it take to get my 5,000?
How long does it take to get your 5,000?
From the government.
Brad, that is a great consumer question. Wow. This,
I'd like
can
to
I
know.
borrow this?
I'd like to know. So you tell me I'm getting 5,000 back.
You're getting $5,000.
Yeah.
So hopefully the dealership you purchased your car at
Yes.
will add that to the bill of sale.
Okay.
Here in Ontario, it's an after-tax deduction of $5,000. So prior to tax, it's $4,424, something like that. But the idea is the Volkswagen dealership that gives you this car will deduct that off the price, and you sign off on a sheet that says you are relinquishing that $5,000 to go towards the price of your car. So it's the Volkswagen dealership that has to
so
wait for the money.
I don't have to wait at all.
Not at all. Not at all. You can put it right towards the car.
Oh, that's nice. I want to thank Ellen Mersk,
Ellen Mersk,
for sending these lovely
Great
gifts over.
suggestion. That was
Yes.
wonderful. That was wonderful. Who is Ellen Mersk, by the way?
That's a great question.
I have no idea.
I don't know. A
Probably one of our many
although
fans.
the letter didn't sound overly complimentary.
Yeah,
but
that's true. That's true.
know,
Oh
what
well,
can we
thanks
do?
anyway, Ellen.
Yes.
Next
Yes.
time, maybe put a check in the box as well. We need the money.
Now, Jared, one of the things we do in EV cars is the 0 to 60 test, and it
Yes.
always, floors us, puts it back in the seat. I love it.
Yep.
The time 0 to 60 for the ID.4 is 5.8 seconds.
That's very interesting, Brad. But it could be faster, and here's the reason why it might not be faster
Okay.
than your competitors, of course. It is a very heavy car. To give you an idea, it's 4,887 pounds.
Okay.
That's heavier than the Tiguan, even though it's kind of the same class of car.
Right.
That's heavier than Volkswagen's Atlas Cross Sport. That's even heavier by a couple hundred pounds than the Atlas, the full V6 7-seater vehicle.
Okay.
So it's interesting to keep that in mind. Will that cause you to be slower than others? Yeah, maybe. Will that have a little more wear on your tires? Yeah, maybe. But still, it's just one of those things. You go on electric, this is what you deal with while you go electric.
Interesting. Now, Jared, tell me, we always gotta, we've said nice things about
We
this.
have
I
to
think
be
it's
partial.
great. We gotta be,
Yeah.
that's right. So maybe one thing you like, one thing you don't.
One thing I don't like is, unfortunately, there's only one knob in this car. That's located here. There are, but there are no other knobs. But you know what? I'll say this. I have a GTI that has the same setup as this. And people complain about this bar that doesn't light up, or if I want to turn up my heat, I gotta tap, 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 tap. But please remember, if you are looking at this car, if you want to put your heat up, I can just tap my heat button here and then slide it all the way across. Or I can slide it all the way down. I have that ability to do that. So bear that in mind, viewers. But I still, just one knob, just for,
something.
nostalgia.
Yeah, interesting.
What about you?
It's definitely an upgrade over the 21, so I like it a lot. It looks like, and I like that it weighs a lot. That to me communicates sturdy car.
Wow, look at me.
Sturdy guy.
These shoulders bear
Sturdy.
much. Yeah.
Sturdy. But I will say this, I love that they went to the 12-inch screen. The interior still leaves a little lacking for me when I compare to, the Kia EV4, the
EV6.
EV6. Jeez, it's the ID.4, right? EV6. Some of the other models, I like what they've done interior, but that could be just my aesthetic.
Okay, so here's the question.
Yeah.
Again, we've driven them all. In
Driven
this
them all.
segment, EV6 Tesla Y, Ioniq 5, Mach-E, ID.4,
Yeah.
new and improved 23.
Yeah.
Last review in the EV6, you said you prefer that one over the Ioniq 5, am I correct?
You are right. That
So,
knocked it off the
Is
top
that,
spot.
and I said this was, I like this one.
Yes.
So, do we still stand in the same
Stand by.
camp?
I will say this is a great competitor. The EV6 is still on top for me.
I still like this.
You still like this?
And I still like it because it's a very familiar look to anyone who's ever had a Volkswagen, and it still drives like a car. Well, with just a few small moves, Volkswagen has been able to make a couple changes to make this vehicle still affordable, practical, and fun to drive. And if this is any indication of what Volkswagen has in the future, personally, I am very excited because we have the ID.4, the ID.7, and the ID. Buzz, and those are just 3 of the Volkswagen family at the moment. And we have infinite amount of numbers that we can put beside the letters I and D. And I presume the engineers and designers have that same mentality. So with that, I give the 2023 ID.4 my hood slap of approval.
Your mom has a carbon footprint.
Brad?
Right, sorry. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and we'll see you again next time.
A big shout out to our friends at Volkswagen Waterloo for allowing us to use this 2023 ID.4. If you're in the market for one, give them a call and place your order.